Okay, check. Right, I'm not sure when we'll go live. I'm hoping soon though. Not for sure if we're live yet, but I'm sure it'll be pretty quick whenever we do go live. It says we're on, but I've not got it on anything of mine. So anyway, hope everybody had a good weekend and a good week so far. Rest of last week and all that good stuff. I'm trying to get this pulled up to come up on mine. There we go. Trying to get everything. I got it on my phone now so I can kind of keep up with the chat and stuff. Randy come in, said that he was not going to be able to make it. He's had a long day. I appreciate him coming by anyway. My wife's here. My dad's here. And it says we're live. So anyway, not for sure. Chris had messaged me, said he's going to be late, which is, it's no big deal either way. I appreciate whoever can come by. Well, I'm trying to get my chat back up on my phone, but I don't know how to do it, I guess. So anyway, beside the point, trying to get it to come up and I can't. So I guess I've messed something up on my phone. But anyway, so today basically got a couple of questions that was asked. Most of everything was asked was about one was Big Air Bel Air, the casting, and the other was about prototypes. So basically, I thought we'd talk about some prototypes and the Big Air Bel Air casting. And if there's anything that y'all want to talk about while we're doing this, it's fine. Not very many people here tonight. I know that it's probably a busy night for everybody. Got to get the bang to get moving. So anyway, said I'm not sure if there's many people in here or not, but before we get started on that, my dad went to the Kroger's. He got the Kroger exclusive set. I don't know if y'all been hunting those or not. Daddy went in and said quite a few of these when he was in there. There's the Lotus. Lotus looks pretty cool. It could have been a Zamak. Pretty cool looking. And it's got it's the full set of 4 that he ended up picking up. And he got the Land Rover there. And then my favorite's probably the Honda, but then the Lotus is really cool too. And then there's the drag wagon, which is pretty cool. So that's all 4 of the colors for the Kroger exclusive. He was in there and found, I guess they had dumped a bunch of bins or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Then went by Five Below because I've been hearing about these things. I just thought they were really cool. I want to open it. It was $5, but it's supposed to be like a Stretch Armstrong Hot Wheel, but it's huge. They have about I think there was 3 different castings that was like this, but I only bought one of them. I should have bought 2 probably to open one to try it out, because I don't know long term how long they'll last like that because they're rubber. But thing's pretty cool. I do want to kind of open one to see what it does, but I just wanted to put it I wanted to get something like this because stuff like this is stuff that you don't see a ton like later down the road. And so I went ahead and picked that up. And then also while I was in there, I actually run across, they put out some more of the 2-pack. So bought the 55 gasser and the Nova wagon there and that one. Of course, I picked up another. I traded my other one off, and so I picked me up another one of the 83 Silverados. And then I picked this one up for somebody, but they said they had already ended up finding the 5-pack with these in it. So I bought the Supra, and I can't remember what the other car was. I think it was some kind of Supra or Toyota of some sort. I don't remember. But anyway, I ended up picking that one up too. And those were all at the Five Below or whatever. They were $3 each. But, so anyway, like I said, if there's anything y'all want to chat about, let me know. Basically, I got asked about the Big Air Bel Air, so I collect that casting. I have every Big Air Bel Air as of right now that's made. And so I thought we'd run over it real quick, and then we'll get into all these across here, and all these are all prototypes and pre-production of those. But here's the actual runs of them. So basically, I don't know if y'all collect the Big Air Bel Air. What's going on, Tool Time? But the Big Air Bel Air, I collect the 55 gasser, and then this come out just right after this. This actually come out in 2020. And this was one of my favorite castings that's been done in a while. And I just like the Baja 56 Chevy. So I went ahead and picked up that. So I started collecting this. So whenever I started to collect this, I decided I'd start getting the prototypes and stuff. And we'll go over that in a minute. But this was the first release in this color. This come out, like I said, in 2020. It was like that grayish blue color there. And then the next release was the white color. I think a lot of people that collect this casting will remember. Then you got the white color there. They come out, same deco, just in white. Then they released it as an exclusive in gold. You remember the gold exclusive there. So that was the first run year, 2020. These all come out of the Rod Squad series. Then they moved on in 2021, and then they come out in the Baja series. The red come out first. I don't know if y'all remember this release, but 2021 they come out with that one. Then they come out with the blue with the same deco, and that was 2021 release there on these. And then the 2021 finished off with the turquoise looking color one, and had the dirt looking tires, which is pretty cool. All those had the dirt looking tire, which is pretty cool. Then 2022, you got the flat black or semi-gloss, whichever one you want to call it. Remember this one come out. What's going on, Ricky? Then you got the Zamac that come out, Walmart exclusive of this same exact casting from 2022. You remember those? Then you have the pink one. Hey, Deborah, how's it going? Then you got the pink one here. You can see, you remember the pink, like I said, all those were 2022 releases. Then 2023, they released this one in the 5-pack. I don't know if y'all remember the 5-pack release. This was out of the Car Meet 5-pack. Then 2023 was also this Aqua Off-Road. You remember the Real Rider Off-Road? They come out. Pretty nice. I tell you one that I passed on. I should have come back. I'll go back to it right now. This is the 2021, the Toy Fair. See if I can get this off the package. I done messed the box up opening this before. You can see a crack in the box right there. But this was the 2021 Toy Fair car. I passed it a while ago. I didn't think about it whenever I was going through the list. But this one actually come out in 2021. I'm trying to get the box lid off without breaking it all the way. But I don't know if y'all remember the Toy Fair. And the main reason that obviously all the Toy Fair cars are pretty expensive to begin with, but this was the Toy Fair that wasn't. 2021 we had the COVID and they shut down. They didn't have the Toy Fair, so to get that one, I actually ended up getting this one at a Hot Wheel convention uh, uh, from one of the GM guys that got this as a sample. Um, so anyway, that was pretty cool. So I'll leave that out because I've actually got a prototype of it too, pre-production. I'll set that over here. And then we'll get back to where we was at to finish up the series, to have all the Big Air Bel Airs. Then this one here come out in 2024. This was the black Speed Graphics exclusive. And then this year we've got the red that's already come out. They've changed the color on this one also already. That's Safari, what do they call it? Safari mode, whatever, 2025. And then the last one that's come out was the blue one here. And so I'll go ahead and open it and put it. So that'll finish up. That's an example of every Big Air. That's all the Big Air Bel Airs that are out right now, up to date. And then, so when I started collecting this casting, it's kind of like all the castings. I'm like, if I decide I'm going to collect on a casting, I just go ahead and start looking for them, look for any kind of prototypes, anything I can find. So I ended up picking up quite a few things. Plus, I've been asked about the differences in prototypes and different things of prototypes. So some things that people call prototypes are just pre-production pieces, kind of stuff like that. I kind of go over some of that tonight if y'all want to. I said I just ramble and go through this stuff, and if there's anything y'all want to, y'all let me know. I think they made a bigger in the pullback racer. I have not seen that tool time. If they did, that would be awesome. I need to find out about that. I'm gonna write it down because that's something that I don't even know how I don't know about it. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna write it down right now and put an asterisk next to it because that'd be the only thing I'm missing if that's the case. So that'll be cool. I'm definitely gonna do some research on that. But so basically, when you go to pre-production pieces, this is actually a pre-production piece. This I got right whenever they were starting to come out. They were going to come out. These were just raw pieces. This one was. I think we talked about this the other day, but that's a raw piece that I got before they even released the first Big Air Bel Air, and that's a pre-production piece. But then I have some prototypes to it also. This I think we talked about the other day, which is the nest, and that's the nest there. You can see this one's been used quite a bit of times. You can see the colors on it. What happens in the production of the car, whenever they go to put the tampos on and the paint and stuff, they run on top of these. So they'll paint them on these, and then they'll put the tampos on the car while they're sitting on these nests. And these are all made out of just the like a resin with the little things to hold it down in there. So as you can see, that's what they call a nest. And so they run those on the factory. So that nest, this one is the first. This one is the first prototype. This one's one with no tampos. It is an unspun. You can see there that this one lifts off. I won't take it all the way apart, but this was an unspun, no tampo proto. They were trying to do the colors. That color was too dark compared to the others. Then this one is an actual proto with, it's got, I guess they're working on the interior to figure out what color or how the interior was going to lay out, I guess, on that one. And then this one's actually got the, you can see the FEP numbers on the roof, and it's got the attached tag on what they're working on. This was worked on in 2019. Uh, it looks like it was 2019 of December the 12th, or December the 30th, actually, because it says 12/30/2019. So anyway, that's one of the production pieces. They were, I guess, was working on the interior on that part. So that's that one. And then if you'll put it next to this one, is just a unspun of the actual car that's production. So you kind of got a way you can kind of see the roll. I know how I got these. That kind of goes through each process. But this right here, like I said, whenever you get these FEPs, first, you see there, first production example, first whatever you want to call them, and then they have these cards here telling them when they're working on them. This was worked on 2020 or maybe 2019 on 5th, not 20th day. Not 100% sure how that laid out on the date on that one, but you can see that's the white version. So I picked up those. Prototype stuff. Now those are definitely prototypes, FEPs. And then here's your gold one. It's also got the FEP there, pre-production. You can see the stamp right there of the one they were working with, and of course the tag that come with it that tells a little bit about it on what they're working on. Big Air Bel Air. This one says, I guess this one was made in on 7/1 of 2020 is whenever they were looking at this one, looks like. So pretty cool on the gold, because that was an exclusive color. And then also on the gold, I have a unspun. And there again, whenever it comes back to the prototype stuff, this is what we just call pre-production. This is, it's cool to get the unspun, but it's not really a prototype. This is just a pre-production. So people had questions about this one. If you see them called FEPs and it's got your initials on the hood or these little numbers on them somewhere on the car, or it has this right here attached to it, then those are actually the prototypes. These are like first production samples. They're getting them signed off on to actually build them. And then this is just like a pre-production right before it got actually smashed together. And if you look at the colors, the prototype one is a lot brighter than the actual production pieces. So anyway, what's up, Chris? Chris is here. Forrest is here. What's up, Forrest? And then here's another one of the FEPs. Now, this time they actually printed the numbers on the, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. They printed the numbers on the trunk instead of on the very top. Kind of hard to see that, the black. But then this one was worked on, it looks like, in 2020 of 12/1 of 2020 is whenever they were working on this one. So anyway, those are all prototypes. This one is the Toy Fair. This was one of the prototypes they were working on, trying to get the tempos correct and everything before the project ended up getting scrapped completely. I mean, they made some. Obviously, I've got one over here that's all the way produced. Let me take this top back off again. So they between these two here, you'll see that the production one had like a black chrome on the inside and everything, and it has a chrome base. And then the prototype they were working on has like a grayish color and a black base, nothing major. Different wheels. We've got real riders and everything, but kind of cool. So I had to have, try to find one of those. Back whenever, like I said, when I start collecting a casting, when they're brand new, you can kind of hunt this stuff out quite a bit, and you get lucky a lot of times, and people let the newer stuff, prototype stuff, go. that's how I get a lot of my my prototypes I've had for years. Um, and then here's the Zamak unspun. Like I said, pre-production, not a proto. And then the pink unspun. So if I can pick up an unspun pretty cheap, and the one I don't have, I still buy it just because it was a pre-production. It was a pre-production piece. It was not a prototype, but still pre-production is pretty cool for me. Let's see what's going on in the chat. So that's kind of goes over that, the Big Air Bel Air. And then we'll talk about some of these other prototypes I brung down because I think we were talking about the Corvettes last week, and I went ahead and brung the Gas Monkey proto that I had. Let's see what's going on. Forrest says, found a red line half track for $3 yesterday. That's cool. Anything you can find red line cheap is awesome. So last week, I don't know if y'all saw the video last week or not, but we went over the Corvettes last week, and this was another one of the Corvettes. This is the production version. Well, this was a pre-production. Now this one is the production one. I have an unspun of this too. This is a production one. This is the pre-production, and this is an actual prototype. This one's actually got black interior, and it's unspun and everything. You can I can take it back, take it apart here in a second. But the bottom is even the different color shade. It's got like a metallic, like a darker metallic built into the plastic. And the other one was more of a regular plastic, and you can see the chrome instead of the black on the interior. But I'll take that apart real quick so you can see like that black. The black interior obviously wasn't released, and that was something I guess they were working on whenever I ended up getting these. So that's the Corvette Gas Monkey. That's the production version. And then I just went ahead and set out the this is the entertainment series. Remember whenever that come out? This would have been 2018. Those come out in 2017. This casting come out in 2017. This come out in 2018 under the entertainment series with the red line. This is closer to what the real one looked like, metal base and all. So anyway, so I thought I'd go over some prototypes. Like I said, I got asked about a couple of different things. One is that they's asking about what modern castings that I collect. And the Big Air Bel Air was one of them. So this is every Big Air Bel Air that's out right now, unless there's a pullback I don't know about, and I'm going to look into that. What's up, Ron and Teresa? I see y'all popped in. Yeah, the vets are pretty cool. I collected it because I was a fan of Gas Monkey, and so I went ahead and bought it. I tried to get these whenever they first come out. And so they were asking about what modern cars that I collect. I collect this. I collect the 77 Trans Am. I collect the 55 Gasser, the 83 Silverado. Modern stuff's like Scorching Scooter, Go-Kart. I call that modern. Anything after 1990 that I collect will be modern. That's just some of the few castings I collect. I don't. I collect the Datsun or the Nissan 93 Nissan, the A100 van. And the reason I collect the A100 van is because it's probably the closest thing I have to. They got a 64 Chevy snub-nose van, a real one, and that's the closest thing they make up to it, even though that was a Dodge version. So anyway, we'll move on to some of these other prototypes. So this prototype don't look like a whole lot, but I bought this at the convention. Trying to remember, this would have come out in 2007, so it must have been a 2007 convention. I've got the paperwork to this somewhere, but this is the first time they made the 66 Batmobile, and this was one of the prototypes from that. So I have the paperwork for this prototype, I never built it. A lot of people you could drill like and get a base and interior, but the way it come was this way, so I've actually kept it just like this. So I just thought it was awesome, and that was one of the I bought a few at the convention, and that was one of them. So so to tell if this was a prototype or not, well, obviously it's unspun, but unless you got paperwork on something like this, it's hard to say that this was a prototype. And I actually got the paperwork for that. But then we get into like, we'll talk about this one here as far as a prototype goes. This was the Blings. I don't know if y'all remember the Bling series, the Out of Line. And this one actually has this one you can really tell the window is frosted. The back you can see there's a mark there. The base is completely blank. So if you come across one that's put together and it's got a frosted glass, or if you come across with blank base, you pretty much know that that's going to be a prototype, because you'd be surprised you'll find a few. I've actually found a couple out and about because, you know, didn't realize what it was. So, but that is the Out of Line, which is actually a Nissan Skyline. And at the time I was collecting the Nissan Skylines. I don't collect them anymore. So, and then this was a different type of, this was a sample. The Out of Line, it's actually handwritten right there. This was 2004 first edition, and it's telling you I guess just getting the body lines cast and the windows, getting those to fit. And of course they hadn't put any writing on the base yet. So anyway, that is those are the harder to find prototype stuff. Let me get back over to the chat and I'll go on to some more. We can talk about them and then talk about anything else I want to talk about too. I appreciate it. I like the Gas Monkey prototype. That was one of the first. I would have liked to have got an FEP of it, but I didn't ever get an FEP. But they never released it with that black interior and black engine stuff, which is pretty cool. And then so back whenever I worked for Nissan for 20 years, this is just an unspun. But back in the day, like this come out in 2000 and trying to remember what year this come out. I think this was 2006 first edition. In 2006, it was extremely hard to find like unspuns back in the day. This is a pre-production unspun. This is not a prototype, but back in the day to find this kind of stuff unspun was pretty rough, hard to find. And I ended up buying this at a convention from someone back in the day. But I really enjoyed the way that the wheels and the tempo kind of matched the color. And that was one of the first years of, remember the Como. I've got a Accelerator back here. We'll talk about that. I think the Accelerator line, this one obviously had a lot of people reach out trying to get this piece. I'm not really wanting to sell any of my prototypes, but the Accelerator stuff has just got super hot lately. And this was one of the first years, the first line they put the Como wheels on. Anyway, let me put this back here. But this is this one's a prototype. You can tell this is the Barbie interior, or the Bobby car. The window is frosted, easy to tell. There's some handwriting right there, and a blank base. So easiest way to tell on the newer prototype stuff is going to be anytime you've got a complete blank base. That's going to be definitely the Barbie stuff. Of course, this Accelerator's prototype is from 2005, and I just thought it was awesome. Of course, these cars were not expensive back in the day, and so whenever I bought prototype, these was not that expensive to buy back then, but now they're that is crazy, because the Accelerators, they clearanced them out. The production ones at Target and stuff, we had boxes of them and boxes of them, and because they were like 50, 60 cents a piece, they had marked them down to. People were cutting them up for the wheels and everything else. But anyway, you can really tell whenever you got a Barbie, flesh tone, what they call it, frosted windshield, if you can kind of see that, and then your blank base on your modern stuff, you know that's prototype. Of course, I'm saying modern. A lot of people are like, well, 2005 or 2004 is not modern. Well, this depends on relative to what I'm thinking. Anything after 1990 is more of new for me. So let's see what everybody's saying. Forest says stayed out of Skyline High. Yeah, I don't collect them now. I collected them because I worked at Nissan, but then I've sold most of my Skylines. I told you I've got a couple of them set over here, the treasure hunts. Buddy of mine's going to trade me for those. Not a lot of friends. Yeah, that's then I was at a convention and this guy had this was one of my first California conventions. This guy had this piece. I ended up buying this piece from him because he said this was the prototype, and couldn't really tell at the time. He said if you'll get a production one next to it, you can really tell the difference. Well, here's the production one and here's the prototype, and you can tell the bottom was even stamped, but you can see that it was not completed, and you can see the colors are completely different on the production compared to the prototype, which is pretty cool. So finding stuff like this, like I said, back in the day, I bought this. That come out of the, I don't know if y'all remember, this was the Larry Wood 40-year design 29 Ford pickup. So I really enjoyed that casting. I didn't collect them all, but I liked having the prototype of it, and you can see there, big difference in the colors. So anyway, the next two I have to go over. I've sold the casting. I collected every one of the castings, but I sold the casting, but I'm not selling these two because I don't really sell my prototypes. But I wanted to show you this. This is a pretty rare piece here if you collect the 62 Chevy pickups. This color, black interior, you knew they didn't make that in first edition, and this color window, they never made that one. But I want to show you the, I've got a picture of, I went back and found a picture of the, this was the, there's your, they never made that color like that, but this is it right here. This was the 2007. They were signing these e-sheets. They used to call them e-sheets. But anyway, I just wanted to go over that and show you that. This was the pre-production. It does have, obviously it's got the cutout for the back, and it's got different wheels on it. It's almost like they're like almost like McDonald's wheels that come on this thing. But anyway, that's the 62 Chevy. And then this one also is a pre-production 62 Chevy. And it's been riveted with Real Riders, but this is whenever they changed the mold in the back. And they put the sunroof in. You remember the production piece? They changed the interior and they put the surfboard lane in the back. And I believe this was 2016-ish whenever they changed this over. So anyway, you can see the difference in the molds if you can. There's a big gap in that one, and then they're just laid the surfboard in that one. They've cut the sunroof. This one just happens to have Real Rider tires, and it is spun. But so I don't sell my prototypes. One of my favorite prototypes in my collection, because I do collect this casting. Everything that's been out in this casting, as far as I know, I have, is the Nissan Titan. And there again, this is a couple of the prototypes of the Nissan Titan here. Let me look and see what people are saying real quick before I go on, because I might be missing something in chat here. Never seen that truck. Don't remember it either. Which truck you talking about, Forrest? Anyway, this was the Titan. I got lucky and I bought this from Bruce Pascal. He had, I think there was 2 of them, and I ended up buying one of them from him. You can see that the windshield is frosted. It's got some writing on it. See where it was clamped up, maybe in a vise of some sort, maybe. And in the bottom here, you can see there's no writing whatsoever. It's a blank base compared to, like here's the other unspun that is got the writing on the base. And so that's the prototype there whenever they were still working on the casting. And then this was the one of the prototypes before they put the paint on and got it unspun. So that's one of my favorite castings. I've got all of these loose, by the way, in the casting, in every variation, except for I don't have one loose. Let me show it to you real quick, because one of y'all may have it, and if you do, I would like to get another one. Sorry, I meant to bring this down earlier, and I got lucky enough to get one. I've only seen 3 of these in my life. A buddy of mine had found 2, and he thought they were just going to be the common first edition. This was the very first production Titan in the PR5. You can see here's the prototype with the blank base with the PR5s, and then there's the PR5. So this is super rare. If anybody's got one of these out there with the PR5s that wants to trade around for it or anything, because I need one loose. I just hate to take this one out of the package. This package is a real nice shape, and it's just super hard to come by. So anyway, if y'all happen to have a PR5 one and you want to do some trading or anything, or you want to sell it, let me know. But I'm looking for a PR5 Titan to have loose to finish out my collection of all of them loose. But that's the way it is a lot of times with super hard to find pieces. I just hate to open that one. So anyway, sorry about that. Just rambling. Got a blue surfboard with Hot Wheel logo on it, but I didn't know the car it came with put it in the Dior red line. Larry Woods Ford, yeah. We'll go through some more of these protos real quick. I think everybody's kind of familiar with this one, being the Yellow Submarine pre-production. This one come out in 2016, and it's not spun at all and not put together. And this is a pre-production. That's what I call it. The person I got it from was trying to say it was a prototype, which I'm not going to argue either way, but to me this is a pre-production, but it didn't get painted on the base, obviously, and it didn't get any tampos, so, but I thought it was super cool to have, so I went ahead and picked it up. This is an unspun of the Mystery Machine. It's 2012 when this come out, and it's an unspun. And I collected Mystery Machine for a while, and then I went ahead and let all of them go except for this one. I've actually got 2 of these that are unspun, and I also got an unspun Super Treasure Hunt. And I've also got the unspun Super Treasure Hunt. because when I was collecting the castings, anytime I could get an unspun, I would. I hate to take this one apart, but you can see right there that they're not spun. But you can pop this apart. But the Super Treasure Hunt Mystery Machine unspun, it is just a pre-production piece. I basically built it out, but they never, stamped it together. So not that it's a prototype, but it is a pretty rare piece to find unspun. But it's also the Mystery Machine Super, so they're pretty desirable. Then this goes to the next piece I'm talking about, will be the Cool Combi. Another casting that is modern that I collect every one of them of. I've actually got quite a few prototypes of them. This is not a prototype. This was one of the called straight off the tree. You can see there all the metal still on this. This was the way that they would get molded. And after they come out of the mold, they would come across and then they would go into the, I guess it's like a shaker kind of deal, and they drop it off in there and then it shakes around and all these pieces break off. And then all they do is remelt this metal down, this Zamac, and then they recast the next car. So this, I thought it was pretty awesome. I've also got I've got a couple of different, I've got quite a few of these, because I got the 83 Sylvie like this. I got the 55 Gasser like this. I've got this is the Volkswagen Bug. That's same thing, where they didn't, this just come off the trees. There's what we call a tree is, there's usually a piece of metal and they'll have two of these hanging on each side, and they come down the production line after they've been molded, and they come down and they'll drop them off, shake them around, break them off. Then once they're broke off, once all these pieces are broke off, then they go on to your nest, which is what you're talking about here. We talked about. So once they're on those, then that's whenever they can do their painting and tampos and all that. But to get them like this is pretty cool, because they're pretty fragile anyway, because you can barely touch some of these and they break off. And the trees, like I said, that's how they do production. I think y'all probably seen this one when I had it. This one's one that never got the trees broke off of it. This is an unspun. I took the cab. This was a painted cab unspun. I just put the raw truck from the Optimus Prime there on it. But when I like a casting a lot, I do try to get the, if I find them out and about, I will try to get a raw, those are straight from the factory, never produced. How they get these out, I really don't know, because I can see how they get a regular car out and everything, but getting these out without breaking them, I don't know how they do it, because they're super fragile, because they're not made to have all that on there. They're made to just break off. So anyway, then it comes back to another casting here. It's another prototype. There again, this comes out. This is a Volkswagen convertible. You can see two different wheels there. The front windshield, it's hard to see. It is frosted. It's got your Barbie interior. And the best part about it is the blank base. So if you're ever in doubt about a prototype and you flip it over, there's no writing on the base, you pretty much know. But you can see they were trying to figure out, I guess, the interior, what they wanted to do there. They wanted to figure out what wheel they liked on it. And this come out in 2006. So this prototype I've had for a long time. But there you go with a blank base, convertible Bug. I collected this casting for a long time. I ended up selling this casting. So, but I keep my prototypes, so they're too hard for me to come by. And so when I get a chance to get a prototype and I get in my collection, I pretty much keep it. And then the last one I've got just out to talk about, I've got a few more we can talk about right there. Oh yeah, and then this, I need to talk about this. This one I bought at the Hot Wheels convention also. This was, I don't know if y'all remember this. I just thought this was a cool casting whenever it first come out. It was called the Volkswagen Drag Beetle. And this was the Gulf prototype of it. I've got the paperwork somewhere where I bought this at the convention. But this come out in 2013. So I bought this probably in 2013 or 2014 at the convention. But I thought it was a cool casting. And I did have the production version, but I ended up selling all those because these things have got pretty expensive now. But stuff like this, again, somebody say, oh yeah, it's a prototype and all that, which is fine. But there again, if you don't have a, well, on this one you probably could tell because it's not got the hooks and stuff on the this one. But without having the paperwork on like this one and the Batmobile, it would be hard to me to say that that's just not an unspun or something, which is still pretty cool. But without having the paperwork on some things like that, it's just rare. But since you got the paperwork and everything that documents it, which makes it the rare part of being a prototype. Yeah, you don't have to look at all your bases. You can kind of tell when they're rough. They don't feel like smooth like most of them, the prototype stuff. They're not. They're just like you said, a shot. That's the way they could tell on the prototypes that if that they like it or not. That's not the final product. So, and then prototype packaging. This is probably the rarest prototype packaging that I have in my collection. This is the Hall of Fame Snake from 2004. And you can see basically that's a prototype of the car. But the actual packaging was just made, it was just made to cut it out to say if they liked it or not. And you can see it's got like, see if I can see it, blenders, toasters, whatever. They'll just use whatever card to stamp it out and to see if they like the shape or not, or if they like what they're seeing. So I know where the mate to this is, unless he's got rid of it. Bruce used to have the mate to this because I got this, and he wanted to do a little bit of trading. I never can let up any of my prototype stuff, especially like this is one of the biggest package prototypes that I own. Plus it's a snake, which I've sold a lot of my modern, I call modern, anything past 1990 basically, because they did the vintage series of the snake and mongoose. But this being a prototype package, I had to keep it. So anyway, then you go back to prototypes like these here, which I have paperwork on these, but these are resin prototypes, and this is the dairy delivery, as you can see there on that. And then this one is super cool to me because I did my son's room in Cars, and I'm a big Cars fan. And this was the first Cars Lightning McQueen, and it's hard to get it up there. I'm trying to get it on camera where you can see it. But this is one that has the lines, the grid lines on it. It's hard to see it on here, but in my hand you can see it. This was when they first scaled it. I got the paperwork somewhere. I need to find all that so I can tell you the stories on all this. But they were looking at going with obviously this scale, and then they ended up scaling it up to this scale, and this was one of the first prototypes on that. And then this was the grid lines they used when they put it in. They would scan this car, and all those grid lines would come up. And so anyway, I'm a big Cars fan. This was a Lightning McQueen piece, and I ended up buying a lot of resin prototypes from one designer that decided to sell some of his collection. I've got some red line pieces too that are protos, but that's basically some of the modern, what I call more modern prototype stuff that you'll see here. And that kind of hits anywhere between resin to your Barbie stuff to your Barbie interiors. They call it Barbie stuff because obviously Barbie plastic at Mattel is probably just everywhere. So everybody always calls this Barbie, but your Barbie interiors, your Barbie cars, your blank bases, looking for frosted glass on a lot of things like that. So that's your true prototype stuff. Then if you see this type of stuff with the trees and stuff on it. This is just pre-production stuff. It's still cool. It's still valuable to a lot of collectors, but it's not a prototype. This is just pre-production. Same thing with your unriveted cars. So if they're out there claiming prototype, it's just the same thing but unspun. It's kind of like, it's cool. It may add a little bit of premium if you collect the casting, but it's not like a true prototype where you're going to come back into like the FEP samples and stuff with the blank bases and or if you've got your cards here and like I said, all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, that's what I just kind of went over and hit a lot of different things about the prototypes. Maybe that'll help you out with the modern prototype stuff. All the old prototype stuff was all mainly the resin. There was a lot of them was in yellow, and then there was actually bucks made back in the day, big out of wood, and but a lot of them was out of resin, and then those will be hand painted, and then you'll see some with like yellow resin with grid lines on your older stuff. But let's see. Yeah, that drag beetle's pretty cool, Tool Time. Obituary says got the Barbie van. Which Barbie van are we talking about? I'm not 100% sure which ones you're talking about. Sorry. But I do have some more protos back here and some more over there. And just over the years, it's one of those things that I really like to try to find one here and there if I can afford them. But they are super expensive a lot of times unless you look out and somebody, knows that it's going into your collection and they hook you up, that kind of thing. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't really sell any of my prototype stuff. 2026 Case A, I do not, I don't guess I do have it. The last Barbie piece I remember picking up, I think was the, trying to think. The last Barbie piece, I guess, was the Barbie van that I bought, and then I traded for these the other day just because those. But now, as far as the Barbie van, I don't. But I did trade for a bunch of the cool combis. But that's the last Barbie. That and then that little van's the last Barbie pieces I think I picked up. So. I'm trying to remember. No, I ended up trading for a bunch of extra the cool combis. It's one of those pieces that I just keep putting up. Yeah, I don't have it, but I'm sure that I don't really hunt a whole lot. My dad hunts more than I do. He kind of ended up finding, I guess y'all seen him earlier. He ended up picking up the full set of the new Kroger set, which is pretty cool. I like the bike the best, but that Lotus is pretty sharp too. But no, I don't have that van you're talking about. But I don't collect the Barbie van. I guess that's another reason I may not have it. But I'm sure it'll be a hot piece. Anything with Barbie on it seems to be pretty hot. So anyway, before I forget it, next I'll be flying out next Monday. I'm flying out Monday, and I'll be at the SEMA show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and should be Friday. So I don't think we'll have a live next Tuesday because I'll be out. I'm flying out to meet Chris back to LA. We're gonna go to Vegas for a while for next week and do the SEMA show. I should have my new video out tomorrow. It's pretty much finished. I was going to put it out today, but I've already had this live scheduled on Tuesday, so I figure I'll just drop it off tomorrow. Full Time says not a prototype, but my uncle has a Playing Mantis giant little red wagon. That's cool. Gold plated from Bill Golden before he. That's pretty wild. Little Red Wagon was really cool. I collect the Volkswagen. I don't know if you can see them back here. I collect the Volkswagen little. What is that thing called? The Type 2 truck, and I collect the Ford like that. That's really cool because I like the Little Red Wagon stuff. I know Chris likes that stuff too. He's got quite a few of those pieces, I think. But I like the van looking truck pieces. So I collected a drag truck for a long time, but then I ended up selling all them. But I kept the very first edition. Remember that 101 or whatever it was called, and I kept the one that has half snake and half mongoose on it. Yeah, the wheel stand trucks were cool. That is really cool tool time. That'd be cool for a cool display, especially chrome. Um, so when I get back from SEMA, plan is in the next week or two after that, going to give away this Beat 16 challenge we talked about. You know, we got the Beat 16 set here. We're going to be giving that away. And I'm thinking I'm going to open another. I'm going to get one of these to open. Nothing crazy, but I just kind of want to open one of those pretty bad. Just because I want to see what it's all about. But that's cool. Anything else y'all want to talk about or see about, let me know. Like I said, that's kind of what I had to go over for today. I was looking around. I found one of my old hats. I don't know if y'all remember whenever they did the whatever the loop jump it was. I think in 2012, 2013. This come from there. This was part of the crew hats that they had for the jump in Vegas. And then this was something I found when I was going through a couple of boxes because I collected the snake and mongoose everything, but then this was one of the few pieces I've still got left of the what I call the modern snake and mongoose stuff. This was the limited edition, the Coke, what I call the Coke version, snake and mongoose. Y'all remember that? Come out, I believe this was in it says 1995, so these come out in 96. These were the what is that, 25th anniversary or whatever they're called. But anyway, that's the Snake and Mongoose limited edition set. I found it when I was going through. Yeah, only a few Johnny Lightning. I got a few Johnny Lightnings. Most of mine are like the Hot Bird. I mean the Trans Am Johnny Lightnings. I do have a few of those. Got some White Lightnings left. I think I've got I may still have a Herbie or two White Lightning left. Those are pretty cool. Bill Golden did a car show for us in 1999. That's pretty cool. Had some autographed shirts and a few signed promo editions. That's cool. Everybody's favorite 2025 Super Treasure Hunt. Mine's a toss-up. I'm thinking 2025 treasure hunts. 2025 Super Treasure Hunts from Hot Wheels. Trying to remember. The Hirohata Merc's got to be pretty close. This one's always a good one. I can't remember what year this one come out. That was one of my favorites too. I just happen to have a few of them laying around over here. You talking about for this year? I'm not 100% sure. This might have been, was that this year's treasure hunt? I can't remember. And then a Hirohata Merc. I think I've got it laying. Well, I did have it laying up there. I thought. Hold on for a second. Oh yeah, here it is. The Hirohata Merc was probably my favorite from this year, or one of my favorite castings too, that they've come out in a while. and then of course the '83 Sylvie, and then I can't remember if this was an '04. I think this was an '04, but the '77. Those are some of my favorite supers. Um, Hard choice. I like the Aston Martin. That is really cool. Um, yeah, that's that funny car is pretty cool too. The Corvette is neat. Um, I like the gasser stuff. I don't have the Austin Martin, but I wouldn't mind eventually picking it up. I kind of like that casting. I like the silver one better than the gold one, though. I mean, I bought a few of those because I just liked the way it was Zamac looking. Um, but anyway, the Hero Merc probably has got to be one of my favorites. I think they did a real good job on it. But the I don't really hunt them that much. Daddy ended up finding me the Hero Merc, and then I ended up finding one more Hero Merc myself. Both of them come from Dollar General first of the year. And then he had just found the '83 also at Dollar General. So luckily I didn't have to pay anything for them other than, so he picked those up or whatever. But what's coming out? Has anyone found those AMAC Replay Classic set? No, I haven't found it yet. I'm needing it myself. I need the 55 gasser and the hot bird out of it, and all the rest of them will be extra if I get a hold of a set. If anybody's looking for any other loose ones out of that set, I'm just looking for the hot bird and the 55 gasser out of that replay set. And I need the red 80th because I need the '83 Silverado out of it. And then anything else that's in there, like I said, it's only ones I need. So if I get a hold of them, which eventually I will, if there's any of those other loose cars y'all need, y'all let me know because I don't mind trading them around or whatever. Because I only need, of both of those sets, I need 3 cars. But anyway, I believe the replay is going to be a Walmart. It's like a Zamac set, and then the Target I think has the red 80th. Is that right? Obituary or Tool Time? Either one. Yeah. Deborah knows. I'm pretty sure it was Walmart was the. I haven't found them around here or seen them around here, and I only seen one that I remember at the convention, and they already had it loose. Of course, people had bought the cars that I needed out of it already whenever they opened it. I'm sure they're all over eBay by now. I haven't looked, but I'm sure they're all over eBay. And it's going to be easier to buy the set, get what you want, and then trade the rest around to try to get your money back, I guess. Oh, that's cool. The replays at my Walmart. Yeah, I'd be buying a few of those up. At least a couple, because I'd want to open one for sure. But they got some really cool cars in there. But anyway, don't know what shows are going on anytime soon. Like I said, I fly out. I'll go ahead and promote this one too. Again, this one January the 25th in Florida. If y'all are around Port Charlotte, y'all can go there. This is gonna be a show my buddy's putting on in down there in Florida. It's gonna be pretty cool. And then I'm sure there's gonna be some more shows coming on. Our local Walmart's been dry for months, but I haven't been hunting since oh, I hate to hear that the whole time. Yeah, I don't hunt a lot. My dad actually goes around more than I do and looks, and he finds most of the stuff, or what I call most of the good stuff that I got. He gets. I don't go around a whole lot because I go to the shows, and I usually get them at the shows. whatever I'm looking for. But I haven't seen but one of those replay sets and one of the 80th sets, and both of those was at the convention, but somebody already had them open and loose. So, but I'm hoping to pick up each of those for sure. Atlanta is Sunday. Hey, what's up, Roberto? I didn't know Atlanta was Sunday. Well, that's cool. It looks like you've been picking up some few good things. You find some good stuff at the East Tennessee Hot Wheels show. Awesome. So Atlanta Sunday, you got Indianapolis Saturday. You said I'll be packing. I'm flying out Monday, and so I didn't get a chance to go to the show on Saturday. I went and picked up those cases. I got two 6-foot by 30-inch tall glass cases. Then I got some 6-foot cases that twirl, and then I got another 6-foot case that turns, Timex style old case. So I went and picked those up Saturday. I didn't go to a show. Should have my last of the convention out tomorrow. Then I've got Long Beach to work on, and then I've got a couple other videos in the back burner. But next week it'll all be SEMA stuff, so it'll be more Hot. If I see the Hot Wheels booth down there, I'll definitely be hitting it, and I'm planning on doing a few smaller videos and some bigger videos too on the SEMA show. But next Tuesday I may not have a live show. It just depends. Just depends on how everything comes out. But anyway, but that's pretty much what I have to go over today. Anybody else want to talk about anything else? Y'all let me know. Nashville is Mid-Tennessee Toy Show Saturday. I didn't know that. I wouldn't mind going to that, but I don't need to. I need to pack. But so looks like you got Atlanta, Indianapolis, and Nashville going on this weekend. All Family Dollar's got trades full of Hot Wheels and Matchbox. Oh, that's good. So everybody start hitting those. Dollar Generals around here. The Five Belows have been getting these 2-packs quite often. So I've been picking up some of those. And I picked up this crazy looking big thing here. So Stretch Armstrong kind of deal. And then, but anyway. Then weekend, November the 14th, she's at the Lebanon Toy Show at the fairgrounds. I've got to get all this updated so I can get it back on here. Memphis is on the 13th. So we're out here at Halloween. I hope everybody has a good Halloween. Got Frankie back here. Got, let's see, I'll move over. Can I see a close view of that Shark Cruiser? Yeah. This thing's crazy. It's huge. It's basically rubber. It's made to stretch. It's called a stretch vehicle. And every car that they had out, they had three different. I think three different castings. What I saw, and they were all the these type castings. I'm trying to remember the different castings there was, but that right there is, it's pretty big. You can see that the wheels are, let me put it next to a Hot Wheel so you can kind of see the difference in it. I seen somebody post a picture of this thing, or a couple of them, and I went and I had to go buy it. You can see there on the back it shows it stretching, and I guess I should have bought 2 of them, but I had to go get one. And I wish I had bought 2 because I do want to open one. While they still got them, that is. Because I don't know how long that'll last. You know how it is with that kind of stuff. That one-off stuff. No problem. Said they subscribed. That's awesome. November 8th, Bartlett. Deborah says. That's cool. So So, like I said, next week I'll be gone for like a little over a week out to Vegas, and so we will see about the live show next Tuesday. I don't know, and then the following Tuesday we may have something live. We'll have to see on that one, but y'all bear with me on those shows, and I'll try to update it somehow or another. I don't know the best way to update to say if we're going to have a show or not, other than to schedule it. But if y'all know a better way to say if we got a show or not, then y'all let me know. Roberto said he'll see you there, Deborah. That's awesome. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I had to go over for today. If there's anything y'all want to know more about or see more of, y'all let me know. Put it in the comments or message me. A lot of people message me on my Instagram. It's no problem there either. I don't mind trying to dig stuff up and we can cover it. I hope that the people that asked me about the Big Air Bel Air and the prototypes, this kind of makes it clear as mud on some of that stuff, or maybe give you some things to kind of look at going forward. I need to get with them. I do have a piece for Ricky saved back. We'll do some trading on some of them errors or something. I know he wanted that Mustang. Final run cars, yeah, I'm sure I do. They had them in the, remember they were a KB, they had them at Toys R Us the first year in the plastics, and then they started releasing them in regular cards in 2002. You remember that? I probably got some. Which one are you looking for? Because they did like the, what was it called? They did the Firebird funny car. They did the Bywayman. They did the, I don't remember all the ones they did. They did quite a few. The Rig Wrecker. Yeah, I remember all those. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can probably do something like that. Yeah, I'll try to do something like that for us. Yeah, I have a few. I'm sure I've just got to hunt them and find them. I'm sure I've got quite a few because there was arrows on the Rig Wrecker. I know I have that. Trying to think of everything. They final run quite a few cars. The 55 Chevy was final run that year, that orange and white one. But I don't know if y'all remember that they actually had one come out in a launcher after they final runned it, which was like a really hard to find piece because it's supposed to have been final run. The Unimog, the Firebird funny car, the dump truck, yeah. All those were in the plastic. And then they final run they final run the Ferrari in 04, you're right. Yeah, I've probably got all of them as I dig through up there at the shop because I don't remember if I sold all that stuff off or not, but I do remember I'd collected all the final runs for, I know I've got probably an extra of the toilet bowl, whatever you call it, because I actually collected that casting. I had all of them at one time. I think I've still got them. I just, how it is. Yeah, there was some really cool final runs. I think it was the Ferrari 308 that they final run, wasn't it? Yeah, they did quite a few. I'll have to look them up. As I find them, I'll set them aside, and we'll talk about them or whatever. I'm going to write that down on the paper right now to look for the final run. It'll be probably a couple weeks before I can get back up to the shop because I'll be gone the next week and a half or so. So final run cars, I'll look for and see if I can find them. But I wrote that down to look for. Daddy said he's got some. He said he's got some in the shop in his totes. I know I've got some. Where they're at right now, I don't know. But yeah, those were pretty wild that they final run them back in the day because they final run the Bronco too. I'm pretty sure that was pretty sought after piece. The Bronco, the Bywayman. But yeah, because I collected a Bronco, I remember they final run that one too. So yeah, they don't final run very much anymore. I don't think they final run. They did it for what, 3 years, and then they quit. I think it was 2002 to 2004. Uh, they don't final run a whole lot of stuff anymore, I don't think. I believe that, Forrest. I think they never closed everywhere else but just the United States, is the way I understand it, what I've seen. So I can believe that somebody's going to reboot them. That's cool. Yeah, I believe that Toys R Us will probably be good again. Uh, I think it probably could have stayed in business, but that's the way they were managing it. It seemed like the prices were always super high. But I think if they would have been more competitive on their prices, it probably wouldn't have that issue. But what do I know? Oh, I did find something kind of funny. I haven't. You're talking about Johnny Lightnings. I don't collect a lot of Johnny Lightnings, but I do have quite a few of the General Lee. This is the dirty General Lee. I don't know if y'all remember collecting these back in the day. This is whenever, this was 2006, and I happened to find that laying over there. But anyway, I found that laying over there because I got some White Lightnings and the Zingers and stuff like that somewhere. Got to find them. But that was in one of the boxes I was going through earlier, looking for a few pieces. I was trying to find some. I thought I had some prototype stuff laying over to one side. I never did find that one box that I've got. It's like a tray of prototype stuff or actually it's more unspun than it is prototype. But anyway, sorry about that. There's a Toys R Us in Fairfield Heights in Illinois. That's cool. I heard there was some in some of the airports, I believe. Macy's, I think, had a small Toys R Us spot. Well, that's cool. Well, if they do, that'll be good. I believe, people be hunting it just like anything else. Um, but anyway, well, if I don't know if y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about, or if there's anything else y'all want me to try to hunt up and we talk about when I get back from my trip, y'all can let me know. But when I get back, a couple of weeks, we'll talk about it. Uh, and then we'll give away the Beat 16. I'm gonna wait till I get back from my trip, and then I'm gonna ship it out. So be prepared for that. We'll definitely try to figure out a way to do it on here, so we can do it live with whoever's in the chat at that day. We'll figure out a way to enter, do the spin thing or whatever it ends up being, so that you can see it on here. I'm hoping, and then whoever wins, I'll definitely get this out to you, and we'll figure out anything else that there might be something else come out with y'all to y'all with the Beat 16, but for sure you'll be getting that and stuff. So, but anyway, I guess that's about it for what I have to cover. I hope, like I said, I hope everybody enjoyed kind of going over some of the prototype stuff, kind of know stuff to kind of look for out there when you're out looking at the shows and stuff. I know people's asked. I don't know if they're here because I didn't see them really talk in here much, but some people don't talk, which is fine. They like to just sit and listen in the background, and that's cool with me too. But like I said, if y'all just tell me what y'all want to know about or see more of, I'll try to get it together and we'll go over it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, but I appreciate everybody coming back and seeing me. I'll have my show out tomorrow, or my video should come out tomorrow. Probably let it out sometime in the morning or midday tomorrow. My third to finish up the convention out in California. And then I'll start on Long Beach and show you all that stuff that I picked up there. So, but anyway, well, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. I appreciate everybody coming back and seeing me. And I hope to catch you. If we come on next Tuesday, I hope to see you then. If not, maybe it'll be the following Tuesday. But anyway, y'all be safe. Hope y'all have a good week and good weekend. And we'll talk to y'all next time. Thanks for coming out and seeing me. Y'all have a good one.